everybody, welcome back. I figured that I would really break the ice and get things moving by having a get ready with me video. Wow, I'm sorry about that. My camera just decided to totally shift. So anyway, today is just going to be a really quick, simple, everyday face that I do. I can usually throw it on in 10 minutes or under. However, both dogs are awake right now and desperately wanting my attention, so we'll see how long it actually takes me today. Let's get this started. I just prep my skin with the Niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1% from the Ordinary. It's a high strength vitamin and mineral blemish formula. I am fortunate that my skin is usually pretty clear, but I do have some breakouts along my jaw area. That's the primary place that I break out, is through here. And this is what it looks like. It's a really lightweight serum. I put it on first thing because it's lighter than my moisturizer. I like to let it kind of sink in for about a minute or two. So I've been using the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Lotion Plus. I used to use Clinique skincare a lot as a teenager. I had really acne prone skin as a kid, and so I have a very vivid memory of my mom taking me to the Clinique counter and talking to the lady there about my skin issues, and I just didn't know how to answer them. And this was back when they used the really cute little acrylic, it's like a clipboard thing, but it had little sliding windows on it where it was like specific skincare issues. And, depending on how you answered, like, that determined what range they would recommend for you. And one of the questions was about visible pores. And I just kind of sat there and I was like, I don't know. I don't know, because, I didn't know. Like, I was like, what does this have to do with acne? And my brother kind of leans over and looks at my skin and he's like, not really, just where she has blemishes and blackheads. And I'm just like, thank you. Thanks for making me feel fab. And then I am not using primer today because I have my Fenty primer, which I really only use when I'm actually using my Fenty foundation, and I'm not using that today because today I'm just hanging out at the house, and I think that when my husband gets home, we might go grocery shopping for the week after we do a little bit of meal planning. So I'm not using primer. I'm just going to use concealer, under the eyes, because as you can see, I do have some nice circles. And then I'm just going to use a powder applied with a damp blending sponge. And I'm using the Benefit Boi-ing Hydrating Concealer. I'm probably not going to repurchase it when it runs out. It is hydrating feeling, but I definitely still get a little bit of crepiness in the under eye area. Plus, I feel like it's just a very light concealer. If I am honest, I think I get better results using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus concealer. I think that gives better coverage. Plus, it is definitely cheaper. And for powder, I'm just using the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Powder. It is in the shade C1 Alabaster. I I do really like the L'Oreal foundations because they're broken down by cool tones, warm tones, and neutrals, and I definitely have cool tones. And you can see how much I use it because there's a pretty sizable chunk missing from the center of it. So I'm just going in with a very lightly damp blending sponge and just dabbing it on my skin. Bringing it down to the neck. Ooh. Oh, that feels weird. Okay. I don't normally talk while I'm dabbing on the neck, so that was interesting. But I do really like this one. Like I said, I like how they have it broken down by skin undertones. And then I think that for a relatively inexpensive powder, it does give you pretty good coverage, especially when applied with a damp sponge. You do get more of a sheer coverage using like a big fluffy brush or a dry sponge. I do have a little bit of hyperpigmentation right now through this area because I had a giant pimple come up here. Next, I'm going to put on some of the Soap&Glory Sexy Motherpucker in shade Plums Up. It's a really gentle, slightly plumping gloss. I like to put that on while I'm doing the rest of my face. Get a little bit of hydration on my lips, just a little, a slight plumping, just to kind of smooth out the surface of the lips. And then for eyes today, I'm just going to keep it really simple. Just a light shimmery color all over the mobile lid, and then a matte brown in the outer corners to give a little bit of soft definition. I'm using the Lorac Unzipped palette. One of my friends is an actual angel and let me borrow her palette so I could try it out, so I could decide, whether or not I really wanted to buy it, because I have so many neutral toned palettes, because that's the kind of makeup that I typically do. Also, I don't typically apply my my eyeshadow with my fingertips, but this afternoon I decided it would be a really good idea to wash all of my brushes. Not just the ones that I use every day, but I decided, okay, well, if you're washing brushes, wash all of your brushes. Why did I do this to myself? So of course they are all still too damp for me to use. So if I do ever use my fingertips, I just use a really light touch. I just kind of pat on the shadow that I want to pick up, just a really light amount of powder, and then just very gently blend that into the outer corner. Of course, I would so much rather be doing this with a brush. But I've been putting off doing another video for well over a week. And I decided, you know what? Just go ahead, record another video real quick. It's fine. For mascara, I'm using the NYX or NYX, however you pronounce it. I actually usually say NYX. The Worth the Hype Voluming and Lengthening Mascara in black. In the interest of full disclosure, I did receive this for free from Influencer, so that's how I got that one. I do really like it. The brush is nice and chubby. It has the nylon bristles, like a classic mascara wand, just chubbier. I don't like the mascara wands that are like the hard plastic material, because I just have very sparse blonde eyelashes to begin with, and I feel like if you have naturally thick lashes, having the hard plastic applicator to really comb through things works out really well. But I don't have much lash to grab with the hard plastic applicators, or even like the rubbery ones. So I feel like they don't do much for me. Throw on some brows real quick. Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in Auburn. It's not Auburn. It's not. It's a really nice, cool toned brown. I really like the color on it, but it's not Auburn. I am still trying to find a brow product that says that it's Auburn that actually has the red tones in it. When my hair was a super bright red, I would actually go in with a lip liner to throw down like a base color and then go over it with a medium brown and blend them to get a shade that matched my hair, which is fine. Like, it's not, you know, that difficult. It's not that much extra work, but it would be nice to have like a true Auburn. That is a very strong looking brow. Jeezy Pete's. I'm just gonna brush that out just a little more. Okay. It looks, I will admit, it looks very harsh on the camera, but it is a lot softer looking actually in the mirror. When I'm using the brow pomade, I more just follow my natural brow shape instead of trying to make them more arched and a little bit more dramatic, like I do with the micro brow. They are more or less symmetrical. My feelings about eyebrows are pretty much the same feelings that I have about winged eyeliner. I'm not concerned with making them a perfect match. I just want them to be or less the same, because I figure that if you're talking to somebody from a, you know, average distance, which I would say is like arm's length, so about the distance that I'm sitting away from my camera, you're not gonna notice, you know, if someone's eyeliner or brows are just a little bit off. And if you're close enough to my face that you can see that my brows or eyeliner are off, then we better have a real intimate relationship. And if we have, you know, that level of intimacy in our relationship, that I'm fine with you being that close to my face, you're not going to care that my brows or my eyeliner are slightly off. Just my theory. I mean, you might feel differently. For blush, I am using one from the Body Shop. It doesn't have a color name. It's just number 09, but it's a really neutral blush. Just gives a little bit of color. Helps to define the cheekbones. I tend towards more like neutral blush tones or like the soft tea rose colors, because I'm not that into blush. I don't know why. I love how blush looks on other people, but I don't dig it on myself. Wish I did. Keep hitting my roller there. And then since I use neutrals, I do go up around my hairline just a little bit. And a little bit along my jaw, just like a really almost, I don't want to say it's like draping, because draping is like a soft contour with blush. I think that this is even, you know, even softer than that. But it does give you just, you know, just a little bit of dimension, a little bit of depth. And then for highlight, I'm using the Makeup Revolution Strobe highlighter in Moon Glow. Let me actually open this so you can see it better. It's a beautiful, soft pink highlight. I would say it's almost a creamy pink that reflects light very well. The only thing that I don't like, I generally really like Makeup Revolution products. I know that they're very divisive within the beauty community. I like it. I think that generally speaking, they put out good products. But I will say that this highlight tends to be very crumbly because the formula of it's so soft. Like if you look, you can see it just kind of crumbles of it accumulating down at the bottom. And so I feel like you do waste a little bit of product with it being so soft. But also, I don't like hard highlighters, if that makes sense. You know, ones that you really have to pack the pigment onto your brush with. And there's one that I'm trying to think of. It's right on the tip of my tongue, and I just can't, for the life of me, remember which one I used recently that I was like, oh, this is aggressive feeling. Little highlight on the Cupid's bow. not the... I'm gonna wipe off the excess lip gloss. And then I'm using the Lipstick Queen. It's supposed to be a matte liquid lipstick. It's not... I would say that it's more like a longwear gloss. But I'm using it in the shade Sayonara. It's just a very pretty blue toned red. That's primarily what I wear, is blue reds. Though I do have a couple of more like orangey reds kicking around. That now that it's summer, I might, you know, start wearing again. And that is it. That was longer than the 10 minutes that it takes me to do it by myself. I'm also not usually talking to myself while I do my makeup, so I'm going to consider this a win. But this is just my everyday bumming around the house or going to run errands makeup. It's very, very simple, very, very clean, very classic looking, and most of it was drugstore or stuff that you could get at Ulta. I feel like I am looking all over the place right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to get off, and hopefully this doesn't look too banana sandwich when I go to edit it, and I will see you guys next video, probably with a roller set or brush out tutorial, whichever one comes first. Alright, everyone have a great day. Bye!